to the highlight. I've been seeing these wonderful young learners on our webpage, and I'm so excited to be able to hear from Holly Avenue. Next up is Holly Avenue Elementary School Board Presentation at School Spotlight. I'll turn it over to Dr. Forsey to introduce them.
Thank you very much. And I love that you said the highlight. This absolutely is the highlight of our board meeting. And this is, again, evidence. When people ask about the decisions made and the work that went into virtual learning and the commitment to that district-wide down to each site, each one of these highlights is absolute evidence of that planning and commitment. And I could not be happier, more proud. Teresa has a lot of people here with her, and I promise you there's a lot more people online watching right now because my phone is blowing up from people saying, hurry up and get to Holly. So Teresa, take it away.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to have all the students here. But as you know, Arcadia is a place like no other, a place where people come from all over the world to live. It's a special community where families come for the schools and stay because the people who dedicate their lives to supporting children. Where the community, the Board of Education, district leadership believe in their educators, opening the windows for them to try new things, which enables our students to soar to great heights. In this city where there are many wonderful families, there is one that stands out for me, the Holly Avenue family. Our students, parents, and staff would like to share a little about the opportunities we have offered this year with a focus on multiple tiered systems of support and community outreach in the virtual classroom. So come with me tonight where dreams are born and opportunities are planned. Just think of happy things and your heart will fly on wings forever in Hollyland. We begin this adventure of opportunities tonight by visiting room 25, Miss Keating's kindergarten class.
Thank you, Mrs. Oakland. I'm Miss Keating, and welcome as we begin our journey through Holly Avenue Elementary School, a place of wonder, imagination, and discovery. We're so grateful you have joined us this evening in kindergarten, a place that most people as adults dream of going back to, because let's be real, you get to be a kid. You get to have fun, be messy, and be exposed to a tremendous amount of academics that will inspire you to change the world and make it a better place. Imagine a place where students are welcome to dream, inquire, and be inspired. A place where students are loved and cared for and seen for who they are. That is kindergarten. That is our school at Holly Avenue Elementary, a place where excellence is desired and something to be strived for. So when the news of virtual learning came, I quickly dreamed of how to make kindergarten all it could be. I wanted to create a sense of normalcy for the students and as quickly as possible. I envisioned a place where students could not be on mute, a place where they could make friends. I dreamed of an atmosphere where they could learn to love others well, where they could laugh, get messy, get paint on their hands, where they could work together, collaborate, respectfully disagree, learn from mistakes, problem solve, listen, and be heard. On top of creating a space where they could learn rich material in small groups, so I as a teacher could truly know what their needs were. But how was this attainable? Well, that was the part where I had to go to what I know and what I have to believe in, which is vision and collaboration, what we at Arcadia Unified refer to as being better together. So I went to the drawing board and I dreamed big. How did I do that? I collaborated with an outstanding team from Arcadia Unified who shared in the vision of excellence for our students. I called upon our experience and specialized teams like Mrs. Quell, Mrs. Dolly, Mrs. Philippa, Miss Bateman, and Mrs. Engel to create daily rotations each day where students could be known, where their voices could be heard, and where they could receive small group instruction, where we could laugh, share, and experience the normalcy of being in a classroom. And we've done just that. My students love their teachers. They love each other. They care deeply for each other. And they and we laugh a lot. Not only that, they're problem solving. They encourage each other. And most importantly, they learn from each other because we are truly better together. We are better together as a family, as students, as teachers, and as community. And we worked with community to shine. As you may recall from being in kindergarten or elementary school, the memories of fire and police department visits, field trips might flood your mind. Well, in order to create these experiences, I referred to what my grandma calls as the squeaky wheel. I called and got the Arcadia Fire Department, Police Department, and even Big Bear Valley Eagle Foundation to come into our virtual life online and bravely enter the unknown territory of kindergarten. Thankfully, they were beyond willing to come and speak, share, and even visit our classroom as we learned the value of working together as a community and as a classroom. So, as you've realized, we are better together. And I have two students here that I'd love for you to hear from. Let's hear from Braden and his mother, Mrs. Rebecca LaRoche Rose, as we hear what he has loved about kindergarten. Braden, are you there?
Yep, here.
Hi, Braden. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Do you want to talk to us?
Yep, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, let's go, bud.
I like to go to school and learn with my friends. My favorite things to learn are science and math. It is exciting to do science experiments with Miss Keating. I like the one where we saw how hot rice and water got sitting in the sun. I enjoy math turned into all numbers and playing math games with Mrs. 12. I have fun reading with Miss Dally and learning about China and Mexico with Miss Romana. My favorite thing to do is watch the eagles, Jackie and Shadow. I have learned so much about eagles. They build big nested. Shadow brings new sticks and fluff to the nest every day. He also brings fish for Jackie to eat. I love them. I think I may want to be an eagle when I grow up. Mommy's turn, that's Mommy's turn.
Well, thank you, Braden, for sharing. Let's hear from your mom.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon, so much.
Yeah.
I want to start by thanking all of you for allowing me to share my experiences as a parent of a kindergarten student in a virtual learning scenario. There have been positive experiences for my son, which I believe is largely due to the engagement and creativity of Miss Keating. My husband and I feel so lucky that Braden is in her class and at Holly Avenue. Some things that have contributed to such a positive learning environment has been the use of the breakout rooms and Zoom classes with the community helpers. Breakout rooms have been so wonderful for my son as they've allowed him to be exposed to different teachers that were really able to focus in on one subject. This was a useful tool as it helped to break up the online learning hour and keep him engaged in shorter class segments. I know Braden is always excited to see each teacher every day as a part of his school.
Yeah,
Thanks. Miss Keating also brought in community helpers to enrich the online classroom. We got to learn about the Arcadia Police, Arcadia Fire Department, and the Big Bear Bald Eagles. It was so fun to learn experientially about these helpers in addition to reading about them or watching videos about them. It was very exciting for Braden to get to see a police dog, to see and hear the sirens on a fire truck, and most importantly, to get to ask a volunteer from the Big Bear Eagle Cam questions. Thanks again to all of you for this opportunity to share about my son's first experience at school. Thanks.
Thank you, Braden, and thank you, Mrs. Rebecca LaRoche Rose. It's so good to hear from you. Braden, I'm so proud of you. You did so good.
Thank you.
Now let's hear from our friend Logan and Mr. Philip Allen on their experience in kindergarten. And as you can see, Logan is dressed to the nines in his fire uniform outfit. Hi, Logan.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good.
I'm just a little shy.
I know. I noticed that you were wearing a firefighting outfit. Is that really special to you?
Yeah, this holds a lot of memories.
What,
When I
can you
got it
tell
for my
me?
birthday, it was way too big.
Now
No, and now it's grown into it?
Yeah.
Braden, do you remember when the fire department came to our classroom
Yes.
on Zoom? What was it like for you?
Oh, she's asking.
It was really good. It was really good seeing the fire department. Also, when I grow up, I want to be a fighter.
Oh my goodness. Logan, when you went to the fire station, did you get to ride in the real truck?
No.
You didn't get to ride in it, but what did you get to do?
I got to turn on the silence.
Oh my goodness. Was that so fun?
Yeah, but they were loud.
They're really
And
loud,
also,
right?
you know what?
What?
The firefighters' outfits and clothes are fireproof.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And they showed
Oh,
you what else did they show you that was in the truck?
They showed me all the gear they have, including the firefighting outfits. But they didn't get us to show upstairs since of COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID, they weren't allowed to take us. Normally, when they give you a tour of the firehouse, they would take you into like their kitchen and like their living, spaces and stuff like that. But because of COVID, they weren't allowed to do that. But they were more than gracious.
Also, they give us an ice pack.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, Logan, I'm so glad that the fire department was so inspiring to you and that they invited you to come and visit in real life so that you could be inspired to be a firefighter one day.
Yeah. Can my mom go next?
Well, let's hear from your dad and then we'll go on to somebody else.
Yeah. I spent 23 years in the Navy and I worked in a schoolhouse. I wasn't exactly sure how, kindergarten on Zoom was going to be. But I will tell you that Miss Keating and Miss Quo and Miss Romana and Miss Dolly and Miss Bateman and everybody that she has come in has made it absolutely wonderful. I mean, doesn't exactly replace being in the classroom, but I can't imagine how it would have been any better the way that it has been. The fire department was great. They were, they invited Logan, come on down. We'll love to give you a tour. And we showed up about 20 minutes later after class was over, and they're like, that was fast. But they were great. It was fun to talk to them, and it was right after the fires, like up on the hill and stuff. So it was, they were very talkative, very helpful, very, they loved the kids, and they gave Logan a great tour. So, thank you to Miss Keating to, bring that in and inspire, some of these, young kids in dreams of what they're going to be later on in life.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Logan. And thank you to your dad, Mr. Philip Allen, for sharing. It was so good to hear from you. And as you can see, we really like the world that we create in kindergarten. And as we've most vividly seen this past year, we need every part in order to thrive and truly be better together. It begins with families who give their all to make learning an experience of what we do together. And it's not just what the teacher does. It's what we all can do to come alongside each other to make Holly Avenue the best it can be. So let's hear more about being better together from our amazing Parent-Teacher Association, who continues to provide amazing opportunities for our students and families. Off to you, PTA.
Hello, I'm Helena Cooper, the current Holly Avenue PTA president. Each year, we like to offer many opportunities to bring our community together. This year, our PTA board had to be creative with our events. One of our kids' favorites is the book fair. We partnered with Scholastic and offered a couple online book fairs. Because of this, we were able to gift over 150 books to the teachers' classroom libraries and our school library. In October, we still had our annual pumpkin decorating contest, but this time, kids sent in pictures of the decorated pumpkins. Then we compiled video montages of this event and others to showcase our students' talents. And over the past school year, we held virtual association meetings, family art night, and we had our inclusive Dance With Me Valentine's event, all on Zoom. The Holly Avenue PTA also started a virtual family STEAM night series. At this monthly event, Arcadia High School clubs like the Coding Club, Chemistry Club, Pre-Med, Destination Imagination, and the Kids Support Group presented to our kids. We were also glad to get presenters like the Pasadena Audubon Society. And coming up next month, we are all very excited for NASA JPL to present to us about the Mars 2020 rover. The Holly Avenue PTA also likes to support our wonderful staff here, which includes our school nurse, Miss Gina Ragoza. Now let's hear from her.
Hi everyone, I'm also known at Holly as Miss Gina. I want to talk briefly about some of the nursing rule changes during this pandemic. Our roles as nurses changed dramatically last March. Instead of first aid and visiting with our frequent flyers, we started calling attendants remotely and communicating more than ever by email. This may seem trivial, but it was actually a vital component for staying in touch. Sometimes those calls and emails ended up being IT support or emotional support. We had some challenges, but we always pulled our resources and worked through them. For me, that means my way of saying I called the office and Mida Frame, our office supervisor, handled it. As nurses, we really learned to adapt. When COVID affected our ASD families directly, we made follow-up care calls. We offered resource connections for food, healthcare, and testing services. Our families were very receptive and so thankful. As you know, COVID data changed constantly, but because the nursing staff was always so well informed by our principal, Teresa, Ryan Ferran, and our district nurse, Erica Newkirk, it made our job so much easier. I feel this experience overall has made me a more empathetic nurse, and I'm grateful for my Holly Avenue staff because they always made me feel confident and empowered to offer assistance when needed.
We cannot thank our PTA, our LVNs, and the support staff enough because we really are better together. They've helped many of our students and the learning experience within the classroom. In addition to their support, we have had many other ways to provide outreach. One way is through the support of the Arcadia High School clubs that was mentioned with PTA. We have clubs such as the Kids Support Group offering activities on Saturdays. And here's a video from the tech team describing their Tuesday afternoon clubs with grades 3 through 5.
Hi, I'm Smriti.
And I'm Shivani, and we're from Tech Team Arcadia.
We wanted to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to talk about our program.
During these 9 weeks, students will learn the concepts and vocabulary that are used in most coding languages through a program called Scratch. Every week, each student will learn a new concept and complete a mini project that revolves around the theme of storytelling.
In the 9th class, each student will get the chance to showcase all that they've learned as well as one of their favorite projects.
Once again, thank you so much, and we're excited to continue with the classes.
Additionally, we've been able to support teachers in other districts through Twitter and other social media. Here's Christine Pinto, who just completed her 2nd book and shares how her students have made even connections across the country.
Hi, I am Christine Pinto, and I teach kindergarten at Holly. For the past 4 years, my classes have been collaborating on a daily, year-long basis with a class in New Jersey. Learning and connecting has gone beyond the walls of the classroom with special projects and shared rituals and routines. An example of this is our daily weather reporting and graphing ritual. A child from each class reports the weather via video from their city every day. This allows us to hit the science standard of observing weather patterns over time in such a meaningful way. With an all virtual learning environment this year, I needed to reach out to my families and keep this ritual alive. I'm proud to say that by the end of March, all of my students will have had the opportunity to create weather report videos for a whole week to represent our kindergarten class. Huge shout out to my families. Our reach has gone beyond the classroom, beyond Arcadia, and all the way across the country.
So we now head over to visit our amazing ELD teacher, Mr. Chang, and learn how he has been building relationships through the ELD program.
Hi, you guys. I'm the ELD teacher here at Holly Avenue. I'm Mr. Chang. I'm talking about relationship building through our ELD program. One of the ways we build relationships is through our ELAC meetings. ELAC stands for English Learner Advisory Committee, and it's where parents and staff meet to discuss Holly Avenue and also the ELD program. Now, when we first started going all virtual, we weren't sure how it was going to turn out with our ELAC meetings. Usually in person, we get about 20 families the most. But our last winter ELAC meeting, we had over 50 families attend. And we would not ever have been able to do that if it was in person because my classroom couldn't fit everybody. And during our ELAC meetings, we talked about the thoughts and the feelings and, the concerns that, our EL community had for what was going on for the ELD program and for Holly Avenue and how we could support each other. And so here are some of the comments that they came up with and we discussed. Some parents wanted more support, especially in this pandemic virtual learning. They wanted their kids to practice their English more because in Zoom it's really hard. And so we discussed ways of having lunch bunches and everything else. And we build other relationships with our students. They even want to stay in ELD even longer. Like Quentin Liu wanted to go to ELD 3 for another year after this. And last one over here, Baron Liu, he's our ELAC president. And let's see what he had to say. I actually recorded it, so let's see.
一些活动啊，去帮助他通过这个考 ELAC 的这个测试，帮助他，而且不停的就是提醒我们重视小孩的这个语言的能力、语言的培养、语言的这个，我觉得这2点，我是非常欣赏。
Okay, Mr. Lee shared 2 points. First, he's grateful for the patience Mr. Tran has for the students, and he knows that a lot of students who has limited English, so especially during this time pandemic, there's no interaction, not much interaction, so it requires Mr. Tran, so he appreciates that very much. And secondly, he appreciates that the district, the school holds different meetings to prepare, to help the parents understand the program, to help them to go over the LPAC and remind them to, the learning English is very important, and ask the parent for their support.
All right, and that's just a snippet of how we built relationships. But anyways, let's go check out Holly Avenue's special education 3rd grade class.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Ms. Okora Wider. I am the 3rd grade special education teacher, and our theme was togetherness in our classroom. Togetherness as a team has been a resounding theme in Ms. Okora Wider's class this year. Bitmoji Classroom to meet the teacher instructional aides and learn about daily updates for the parents. Daily morning brain breaks to get your morning started off in a fun manner. Jeopardy across all content areas as a content review. Arcadia Police Department virtual visit from Officer Wider. Science, the study of flight, paper airplanes, a hands-on experiment. daily math warm-ups for students to be engaged and make mathematical inferences and observations, creative world and STEAM Makers Empire projects. And finally, last but not least, virtual holiday celebrations from Valentine's Day to Mars Perseverance, all the way to Dr. Seuss's birthday. Great, thank you. And we also have one of our amazing parents here, Micah Chang's mother. Are you here?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, I'm Sandy Chang. My son Micah is in Mrs. O's class. So I recognize that the pandemic has been really difficult for everyone, all families across the board. But for families with special needs children, it's presented a certain set of challenges and unique challenges that I don't think any one of us could have ever predicted that we'd have to confront. And so what this has done is that it's really highlighted the creativity of the teaching staff and how they engage the students. So kids, especially on the autism spectrum, which is what Micah has, it's difficult for them to engage. And so what I found to be really amazing and truly inspiring has been how Mrs. O and all the teaching assistants have just used technology in a way that actually engages the students. And again, this is something, no easy feat for any children, but especially kids with special needs. And so that's been something that we've really come to appreciate. So whether Mrs. O already highlighted some of them, but for us, like Micah, Mrs. O would assign weekly tasks or jobs for the kids. Micah loves being the joke teller. He has channeled his love of space and looks up actively these jokes, which are sometimes like hilarious and sometimes make no sense to me. But they are the funnest part of his day because he loves sharing those jokes, and Miss O has provided that space. And that's been something that's great because again, kids, he gives him a sense of ownership and that this is his space. The other thing I wanted to showcase, I know again that this has been difficult and I'm not trying to downplay that by any means, but I have, as well as I think a lot of the other families in Mrs. O's class, we have to sit next to our kids a lot of times. And it's not because we're just trying to make sure they're in classes, because we genuinely have to kind of coach them and be with them through the whole process during the class day or the school day. And I'll tell you the honest truth. I've always said, for all my years, I've always said I should never be teaching or responsible for teaching any child ever, not even my own, because I don't feel equipped to do so. I love teachers and I bless them to pieces because I know my own limitations. But being by Micah and sitting next to him, watching how, again, the TAs, how Miss O, how Miss Spees, how all of the staff really rallies, and again, using their creativity and how they engage, I actually feel better equipped now to understand my son better, to know what he knows, but also to understand how he learns, which is something I never knew. And I actually have some tools in my pocket to be able, that I've taken and stolen from the teaching staff, to be able to now implement at home after school hours. And that's been, something that's been really, I know, again, I can't say this enough, the pandemic has been difficult, distance learning has been difficult, but the silver lining really has been this opportunity to make me closer to my son and for us as a family to be better equipped to address his needs and meet his needs at this time. I'll stop by sharing this small anecdote, and Mrs. Oakland can attest to this. So for the last 3 years, we've had IEP meetings, and every IEP meeting, we always end up crying. At the end of our IEP meeting, I always end up crying. And it's not because I'm inherently just a weepy person, maybe, but part of it is that as parents with a child, with special needs, we never really know what we're hoping for. We don't know what we're looking for. See, here I go. But we don't know what to expect at all. And at every IEP meeting, I'm always floored, not only by Micah's progress, but how much that progress is a result of the team that's been surrounded around him. And so Holly Avenue is more than just a school to us. It really has become a family. We feel so supported there. We have friends who go to other districts and they're often giving us a hard time because we've been spoiled by the experience we've had at Holly and Arcadia. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, to really thank the Holly Avenue staff for everything that they've been doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Chang. And now we're going to walk over to room 21 to the amazing Miss Baum's 5th grade classroom, and she's going to teach us a little bit more about universal design for learning.
Good evening, Arcadia Unified. Universal Design for Learning invites educators to develop flexible learning environments and spaces that support individual learning. In distance and hybrid learning, how can a teacher develop a learning environment when the students are all in different physical settings? As a student's learning coach, what might I do to invite the highest level of engagement for each of the students, while creating a school day experience that is easily navigated by the student and one that felt like a regular day at Holly Avenue? First, we focus on shared experiences using technology as our learning environment. We invited experts, teachers, and authors into our learning platform. Author Supriya Kelkar attended one of our book club sessions as we read American as Paneer Pie. We sat on the edge of our seats as we watched the Perseverance rover land on Mars. We went to San Francisco to attend science classes at California Academy of Science. We visited fifth grade buddies in North Carolina and went on a tour of historic Jamestown in Virginia. To encourage a shared learning environment, I used daily slide decks that contained our learning objectives and assignments, resources, Easter eggs, both synchronous and asynchronous agendas that linked directly into Google Classroom. Our daily slides became our learning hub where we could navigate our learning day. Utilizing the slide deck helped to provide multiple entry points for the students to access the learning. For example, as we read class novels, chapters would be available to read as a PDF, but there was also an audio version. And for my social learners, we had class listening times assigned in our synchronous agenda. I would pull the students after each chapter, and consistently throughout this year, 33% of the class would choose each format, and their choices would vary from day to day. Allowing the students to access the class novel in 3 different ways made our Jamboard and Padlet discussions more rich because of the high level of participation. Students not only accessed learning through multiple entry points, but they were also producing work based on objectives rather than prescribed products. For example, in our vocabulary study, students began creating not just definitions and sentences of unfamiliar and challenging words, but they were designing one-pagers that looked like graphic novels, creating slideshows. Some assignments were done on the computer while others were on notebook paper. And even a few students started to dabble in digital artwork that turned out stunning. The benefits of universally designed learning for students extends far beyond classroom walls, and it's what helps build communities of learners, even during this unexpected year. But don't take my word for it. After tonight's spotlight, I'd like to invite you to click the students and pictures on this slide to hear directly from the students in room 21 as they reflect on their own virtual experience this year. Now I'd like to invite you to come on over to room 11 to visit the students in Ms. Chang's 3rd grade classroom.
Thank you, Mrs. Baum. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Virginia Chang, and I've taught in Arcadia for the past 28 years, and I currently teach 3rd grade. Here at Holly Avenue, nurturing our students means growing and developing students wherever they are. Whether they're a student who's so shy they can't bear to speak out loud, or a student who has plenty of words to say and just needs guidance to develop their voice. We need to nurture each and every one of them towards their unique purpose. Today, I have 3 3rd grade students who have been at our school since kindergarten. They've been guided and cared for by over 50 teachers and staff members. When a child enters our doors at Holly Avenue, they belong to not just one of us, but all of us. And not just for 1 year, but for their entire stay. Brandon, could you please share with us your experience?
Okay. Hi, my name is Braden. I have been at Holly Avenue since kindergarten. Now I am in 3rd grade. I used to have a hard time listening and staying on track. Miss Chang has helped me use all my energy to focus better in class. Miss Chang helped me in the whole class stay organized during COVID-19. At Holly Avenue, I have nice, kind teachers. I believe Holly Avenue is a safe place to learn, play, and make friends. I hope we can go back to school soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Now we have Mosen. Mosen, what would you like to share with us today?
My paragraph.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
Hi, my name is Mosen. I am 8 years old and I have been to Holly Avenue since kindergarten. I am now in 3rd grade. Everyone knows about superpowers, right? Well, did you know that each and every one of us has a superpower? A voice. Your voice can change our school, our community, and our world. Whenever I come to school, virtually of course, I find kids being shy, especially during distance learning. But the teachers help them be more open so they aren't shy the next time they get called on. To be honest, I'm not really a shy person. I actually like to talk a lot, maybe a little too much. But doing so, I become more confident in myself. My teachers make my voice be recognized by everyone, whether it is at school or at home. I want to thank everyone who nurtured my voice to become recognized today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mosen. Our next speaker is coming to us pre-recorded from Plano, Texas, which is 2 hours ahead of us in past her bedtime. Cody's able to continue her education with us thanks to distance learning while her mom finishes her own education. We look forward to her return in the fall. Here's her poem. Oh, before I go on, knowing Cody's gift, I commissioned her to actually write this poem for us tonight. Go ahead.
Okay, the title of my poem is The Blossoming Hope of Holly Avenue. There's a place I like to walk into, with white, blue, and yellow calming colors. With a welcoming dolphin motto that chooses to dive deep. You see smiles on the faces of teachers, children, and staff, where we graceful dolphins achieve wonderful things. And a place for delicate minds to achieve greatness. This place is called Holly Avenue. And thanks to them, many children and students have found their way. Holly Avenue gives hope and helps us overcome the impossible. But Holly Avenue also teaches us students, that life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important and capture the good times that flow from the negatives. And if things don't work out, take another shot. It assures us that we are braver than we believe, stronger than we think, and loved more than we will ever know. It's a place of wonders and miracles, and we enjoy happiness like it's an everlasting toy. Sometimes in life, we will fall down, but the most important thing is to get up. Life is a giant mountain. Climbing it will be easier with the help of Holly Avenue. We might fall 1,000 times, but it's not over yet. You need to get up, rise, and show everyone that you are an amazing shining star. No matter what, you do what you always do best, which is stand tall and stay strong. We will get through this time together. And once we do, we will help others discover the beauty of life, which is not giving up. If you try to burst and don't succeed, call it a version 1.0. And don't be discouraged, because it's really hard to find the courage at first. But you are bright and beautiful in being yourself. Every moment at Holly Avenue is a moment of grace, peace, love, and joy combined together. We students know that as dolphins, we must stick together. No matter how hard the times are, we are family. We are in a time tougher than ever, but we will still stick together. I can't think of a feeling better than knowing I can trust my dolphin family, because Holly Avenue has its spark to stand out. Like there's a mark we shouldn't doubt. And we dolphins blossom till the very end. And that is what we should always remember. Thank you.
I hope Cody inspires all of you as much as she inspires me every single day. Now let's step over to our resource room with Mrs. Julie Lee.
Good evening, my name is Julie Lee, and I am the new RSP teacher at Holly Avenue. Tonight, I will be sharing a book titled The Perfect Fit. This is a story about a yellow triangle who likes to play with blue circles, but doesn't feel that she quite fits. Like when they're rolling around and she ends up rolling and poking the circles. So then she tries to hang out with the red squares, but when they're building a tower by stacking, No more squares can stack on top of the yellow triangle. So Yellow Triangle continues her search to find a place where she can fit in. After a long journey, she finds her triangle tribe, but soon realizes that it's actually not that fun without the rest of the shapes. So she invites all of her shape friends, and they're now able to be creative and work together to come up with new shapes, activities, and adventures. I share this book story because it reminds me of my students. Each of my students are different color shapes. And as students with IEPs, I believe that students are different. I believe that it is my duty to help them discover their capability as an individual, self-discovery, so to say, so that they're learning their individual strengths and interests. That way, they can take back the skills that we worked on and apply it in their classrooms in their least restrictive environment. In doing so, my beautifully colored shapes can feel included back in their classrooms and feel that they can participate and play with the rest of the shapes. And despite this school year being on virtual learning, many of our students with IEPs have been doing just that. They are able to participate in their Gen Ed classrooms for a majority of the day while still receiving their respective individualized instructions in RSP. We've seen an increase in the students' participation, work production, taking risks, and even leading small group activities. And I couldn't be any more proud to witness that. Next, not only was I new to Holly this year, but my daughter also joined the Holly family as a first grader. She is here to share her experience at Holly. Haley, what has it been like for you at Holly Avenue?
Hi, my name is Haley Lee, and I am in Mrs. Deichardt's class. Holly Avenue is a school of my dream, being in the same school as my mom, and my dream came true. One thing I love about Holly Avenue is that all the teachers are so kind to me. My teacher makes me feel very deep inside her heart and that she cares for me. I love Holly Avenue. Thank you. The next step of our Holly tour is Miss Erin Daly, Holly's academic program coach. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley, for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. Good evening. This year has definitely presented us with many challenges, but with challenges comes unique opportunities. How do we meet the needs of our students in this digital learning environment? The answer is using data-driven decisions to provide interventions and supports using MTSS. In the slide, you'll notice the green tier, Tier 1, covers about 80% of our student populations and is embedded within our general education and regular special day classes. Some of the examples of the instructional supports that we provide this year include, as Ms. Keating mentioned, Kindergarten Centers rotations. Our amazing math coach, Mrs. Lisa Kuo, provides coaching and co-teaching in every single classroom. We also hold monthly data-driven collaboration meetings with each grade level to ensure that the supports and additional instructional materials and lessons we are providing are meeting the needs of our students and that we're seeing growth. Tier 2, or the yellow tier, reaches 5 to 15% of our students. So that's more targeted instructional intervention and supplemental supports. So this is where the bulk of my day is spent, in flexible small groups, kindergarten through 5th grade, providing skill-based supports. One way to ensure that we reach all of the students in many different ways as possible is through virtual classrooms on Google Classroom. They have access to games, they have access to read alouds and different materials through the Bitmoji classrooms. And there's even classes and rooms centered around student interest. So for example, you might see the Dodgers room there, a place the kids love to explore. As part of my flexible small group, I have a sample for you of a student in 2nd grade who's been focusing on his fluency reading with the SK and SC blends.
Hi, Ms. Dai. Today I'm gonna read you my new scooter. I love my new scooter. I can skid all day with my new scooter. The one time day I fell off my scooter, I tripped on my scarf. I got a really bad scare. A big scoop of ice cream can make me feel better. Thanks, Miss Daddy, for hearing the story. Bye. I hope you have a nice day.
So as you can see, this young man has been practicing the blends. He is fearless, and the use of Flipgrid has allowed us to hear each student read on a regular basis and provide immediate feedback. Finally, a tier 3, or the red triangle on the pyramid, is reserved for the 1 to 5% of our students who the first 2 tiers are not enough support. This is intensive, individualized interventions and supports. And this year, I am so pleased to have been able to use the Horizon Discovery Reading Program. As a result of the Cotter Group project and in collaboration with elementary stakeholders, all of the academic program and performance coaches were able to receive training on this program. And as you may have heard from Mr. Timry of Baldwin Stalker and Mrs. Elisa Fernandez of Camino Grove, the addition of this research-based program has been pivotal for those students who have been participating in our phonics interventions, but may not have progressed as much as we would have hoped. Following our most recent assessments, we have seen students' growth in my groups. Student 1 went from 78% accuracy to 98% accuracy on her phonics assessments. And student 2 went from a 59% to an 89% on his initial subtest A, and from 68 to 78% on subtest B. No matter the tier of MTSS, the key feature of all of the supports is building student self-confidence and efficacy. Despite the difficulties our students face, they persevere and rise to the occasion, which is why I presented this quote. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you just don't give up. With that, I would love to head over to the amazing and imaginative math lab to see what Mrs. Kuo has been up to.
All right, hi, I'm Lisa Kuo, and welcome to the Holly Avenue Math Lab. In the Math Lab, we reimagine what math instruction can look like, we inquire into student thinking and reasoning, and we inspire all kids to love mathematics. Please enjoy this brief peek into what math class looks like every day. And if you want to hear more from our young mathematicians later on, feel free to click on the links on the bottom of the slide. We are going to play an Itsy mystery. Are you ready?
Yay! With my answer. I'm putting the answer.
The reveal. Here it is. The answer is
12. I think that the circle doesn't belong because it's 2D, but the other ones are 3D. 50 plus 6 equals 56! I win!
All right,
Congratulations, Tejas. Congratulations, Tejas. It was a good game.
So that would be right now. We get to lock in one.
GG's, bro. GG's, Grayson. GG's. You can do 10 times 90. That would equal 90. And then 90 plus 18 equals 108. And then if you want to do 45 plus 9 equals 54. Plus 54 equals 109. And 8.
All right, so now let's head on over to the school library where our librarian has been busy engaging our Holly readers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ivona Engel, the librarian at Holly Avenue. Reading books now became more important than ever. Students have been home for a year with limited access to reading materials. Reading books lets them go on different adventures, meet new people, make them laugh, smile, and sometimes help them deal with their problems and reality. In order to help the students with an easy access to the catalog, I created Holly Avenue Library website. They can find there the current library news, book recommendations, link to the library catalog, and instructions on how to check out the books. Once the students are done reading, they can drop it off and check out the next book the following day. This way, they have constant access to reading materials. Next, I set up Flipgrid for each classroom, where I record books, introduce different genres, run contests and activities. One of them was Storybook Pumpkin Patch, where kids had to cut out pumpkin, decorate it based on their favorite book character, and talk about it. The mixtape I posted had more than 1,300 views. Another activity was Read Aloud Share a Book. Students from upper elementary grade levels were reading picture books so younger students could listen to their peers over the winter break. Lastly, activities that do not involve the computer are very important too. Students participated in 2021 Friendship Book Float Parade contest, during which they built their own floats based on the book where friendship was one of the themes. Students' access to books will always be my priority. I will continue to collaborate with teachers, create different activities and contests, and help as many students as I can to put their hands on the books, have fun, and grow. Thank you. And now let's head over and meet our counselor.
As the school counselor, my task at the beginning of distance learning became very clear, very quick. Assess how to support the social emotional needs of about 700 elementary age students while establishing a place for them to connect with their friends, motivate them academically, create and provide grade level appropriate lessons to TK through 5th grade, assist our families by providing resources, be available to brainstorm and collaborate with teachers, attend professional development webinars, and practice self-care. To most people, this may seem like an impossible task, but to an elementary school counselor, this sounds like a tremendous opportunity. In addition to monthly themed lessons and activities, the school counseling program at Holly Avenue hosts Lunch Bunch for all grade levels, where we love to socialize by playing games like Connect 4, Follow the Leader, Four Corners, Pictionary, and many more. In collaboration with the rest of the elementary school counseling team at AUSD, we have successfully planned a virtual parent workshop series. We are only halfway through this series, and we have already reached hundreds of families in the comforts of their own homes as they cook, clean, and tend to the busyness of their daily lives with the convenience of being able to listen in on advice from various experts in the field. Topics have included raising the screen generation, how to talk to your child about difficult topics, and next week's webinar, which is titled Addressing Stress and Anxiety in Our Children. Another incredible opportunity to come from distance learning as a part of the school counseling program at Holly Avenue has been our homework club. Homework club is held after school 4 days a week with the support of our wonderful intern, Miss Caitlin, and our amazing Arcadia High School tutor support, Miss Ella Yee. With the help of Miss Caitlin and Miss Ella, Homework Club has been a space for our Dolphins to join and choose to work independently in the main room or join a breakout room with classmates or grade level peers to socialize while working on their schoolwork together. We have a very special student who wanted to share her experience about not just Homework Club, but also distance learning overall. Everyone, please meet Zoe.
Hi, my name is Zoe and I am a 2nd grade student in Miss Hada's class. My favorite thing about being in Miss Hada's class this year during distant learning has been being able to see my classmates on Zoom while learning. I've also loved Homework Club with Miss Bateman because she makes homework fun, and I can talk to my friends while doing homework. Other reasons why I have enjoyed distant learning at Holly Avenue are being with my family, practicing how to use a keyboard, and still being able to learn. Thank you. Bye.
So we hope you've enjoyed our school spotlight. Believe it or not, we were not able to show you everything that we do at school tonight, but we hope that you remember that the physical doors may have closed, but our hearts are always open and teaching, learning, and opportunities never stopped. Thank you.
Wow. I tell you, I've got 3 pages of notes. I am blown away by all that you guys are doing and the love and caring that is going into teaching our youngest learners is just amazing. I will open it up to questions and comments from the board.
All right, so I, of course, have to comment. I know Holly Avenue really well because both my daughters are there and went there. They're both now at Arcadia High School, and I can attest to the fact that Holly Avenue is a big family, a loving one. And tonight, it was just so great to just fly through Hollyland and just see all the Dolphins students who just feel safe, connected, included. And what I love is that they feel like their voices are being heard, which is so important. And just that emphasis on collaboration, creativity, and support among not only your staff and teachers, but your families. It's pretty amazing. I mean, all these virtual boardwalks have been amazing, and every school just has something even more amazing to I mean, it's kind of like what Micah's mom had said, where she was at every IEP meeting, she's floored. And I'd have to say that would be a good word for this. That I'm just floored at how much that, our schools are able to do, our teachers, and how creative and how much engagement they're getting in virtual learning. It's pretty amazing. So thank you so much for this amazing presentation. I wish that I could be as eloquent as your students. They were all just an extra clap for all of them tonight. From the kindergartners on up, they are just going to be amazing young adults. So I can't wait to see what they do in the future. So thank you again.
Everything Shirley said, wonderful, wonderful presentation. It's great hearing from so many of your wonderful students, Braden, Logan, Brandon, Mosen, Katie, great poem. Cody, sorry, Haley, Zoe. I really appreciate, taking the challenge of distance learning and what you've done is to create those opportunities to expand on what you're able to do. Seeing the ELAC be able to expand to 50 families because doing it virtually is much easier, and having Micah's mom have more tools at her disposal to be able to understand how Micah learns and how to better teach him. It's just so wonderful to see all of these things. So thank you for showing them to us, and great work to you and all of your staff and parents and families.
My face hurts from smiling. Oh my gosh, I'm getting to see students all night long and how that just illustrates so vividly everything that's happening at Holly Avenue. The big word that stood out to me was voice. And you have to feel safe and confident in order to feel good about using your voice. And your kids have voices and have a lot to say. And even if they're shy, they are using their voices. So the supports that you're putting in place to encourage that, they shine, which is amazing. And it is all due to the work that happens. And it's a lot of work. But I mean, everything from hearing in kindergarten, that we want kids to learn to listen, but also be heard, all the way up through in Mrs. Baum's class, you know, the different choices and how that leads to voice and better discussion. And I had shades of the inauguration of President Biden and the poem, listening to the beautiful piece written about Holly Avenue and the family that is there. I can't even put into words. I also have 3 pages of notes, different things about things that are happening. But I just wanted to highlight, I loved hearing about the library and all of the activities and the way that that's knit in and the access to reading material. Because I think when people think about virtual learning, there's that, oh my gosh, we're far away from school. And you guys have fostered this wonderful connection, but also by giving access to materials like that. So constantly, kids aren't far away. They're there with you. So thank you for creating that.
Just to echo what my fellow board members have said, great presentation. Thank you, Mrs. Oakland and your staff. There's so much that was presented. In broad strokes, I think what's important is really you met the challenge of what we had in front of us, but you just found ways to be creative. You've embraced technology. It was just great to just hear and see the students too. I think that's something I really miss, and it was just wonderful to hear from them and really see how bright and brilliant they really are. And probably the key thing that stuck out for me really was that you really get a sense of community at Holly Avenue. You really feel family, and that's a beautiful thing. So appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, as I look at my notes, I've highlighted the Holly Avenue's family and how everybody creatively is engaging those students. And I too highlighted the learning how my son learns. And that is so key for us parents to figure that out, because I know my boys are entirely opposite how they learn. I love, from kindergarten all the way up through grade 5, the virtual visits all over the city, all over the country. It's amazing. But I'll tell you, that 3rd grade classroom, first, I can't believe those are just 3rd graders. But Brandon talking about learning how to focus, and Mosine saying, I found my superpower, it's my voice and our voices. How many kids know that already? And with Cody, I did too. I wrote down poet laureate in our midst. Not giving up is the secret of life. And oh, so true. These kids are wise beyond their age. And then to find out things like what Mrs. Dolly was talking about, the Horizon Discovery Reading Program. It's so nice that you're finding things that are really working, that are giving measurable improvement to these kids in today's world. We're not waiting to come back to in-person instruction. You're making sure they're getting it right now. Kudos to the entire, I could keep going on. We all could, but kudos to the entire team.
To Principal Oakland and the entire team. Thank you, students, for staying up so late just to share your experience and your story with us. Just watching the joy, I kind of like Board Member Chavez mentioned, my face hurting from smiling. That joy and that passion and just wanting to share their experience and their connections to their fellow classmates and their teachers. That just says everything about the ability of Holly Avenue staff to, and with the PTA and the parents and everyone, to reimagine, but not lose your values. Reimagine what it looks like, but ensuring that the values that have made Holly what it is continued even in a different environment. And so I'm so incredibly proud of everything that you've accomplished this year for your students. And it was fabulous to hear from them. So thank you.
I know some of the kids have to go to bed now, so we'll make sure that they get off. But thank you so much for your kind words, and it truly is a family at Holly. I'm very blessed to be there. So thank you.
I just want to say thanks to Holly Avenue for the joy, number one, because it was joyous.
Thank you for Holly Avenue's presentation. That was wonderful. It's really great just to see what's going on and how school is fun still.
Another big thank you to Mrs. Oakland and the Holly Avenue staff. It's, like Lee said, it was just pure joy, and it's something that I think we all need during this time. And it's just a testament to Holly Avenue's emphasis on just family and I see it with my daughters. They still consider Holly Avenue their family. And as you heard, even my daughter, despite her super busy schedule as a junior, really wanted to give back and has just really loved tutoring the kids there. So I think we see that in all of our elementary schools. And like I said, it's a testament to our district and how much our students feel supported from the very beginning.